Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 2, week 11, ending June 28th, 2019. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I've bought, nor an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm just sharing my stock journey. Watch me on my journey, learn from my mistakes, and celebrate my successes. I'm on a mission to become a great CanSlim growth stock investor. I want to see if I can reach my $200,000 goal, doubling my money, in year 2. My focus is on stock selection, buying stocks, and managing my portfolio. Plus, I'm going to continue to practice and refine my sell rules. Managing my portfolio, I'd like to hold 4 IPO stocks, which I do. This week I have 4. I also like to hold 4 CanSlim style growth stocks, and I do have 4 of those, and then I have 1 prior leader also. According to Investors Business Daily, where you can find at investors.com, the market is in a confirmed uptrend. This means that it's a good time to be looking for stocks to buy and buying stocks. The S&P 500 closed last week at 2950, and this week it closed 9 points below that at 2941. It's pretty flat, but it is above that third level of resistance, the dotted blue line that I had marked up on this chart several months ago. The VIX, or the volatility index, I like to see this below 16, and it's really been hovering along that, above it, below it, above it, below it, and back and forth, but it did close the week at 1508. I did sell 2 stocks this week. GH was an IPO stock that I bought, and NMIH was a growth stock that I had 3 buys in that all triggered a sell for a loss. And then I made 2 purchases, Stoke Therapeutics and Slack Technologies. NMIH Holdings, I did sell my 3 positions in this, my B1, my B2, my B3 on 625. You can see where that black dot is by the red diagonal red line and the dash yellow line. That's the day that I sold it. It did pop back on Friday with huge volume. I did look at whether I want to buy this back, but it is the third bounce off the 50-day simple moving average, and I don't think that I'd be able to really hold the stock if it keeps bouncing that, because I don't typically use that line as my sell point. I have a total loss of about 6% in this, $1,164 and change. Guardian Health, GH, also sold this week on 626. Again, you can see that black dot right by the dash yellow line. That's the day that I sold it at the 28-day exponential moving average, basically. I had held this stock for just about 3 weeks and lost 6% in it. Again, I looked at whether I'd want to buy this back, and I think I can find better stocks. It would have also triggered the sale at the 8% floor. It did drop that low, so I'm going to move on to other stocks. This is my current holding bar chart. Each bar represents 1 week. So ATR I've held for 13 weeks, while Amazon I've just held for 4 weeks. And then I rank them in order of weakest chart to strongest chart. So it's not the total overall gain, but the strength of what I see in the charts. ServiceNow, stock symbol NOW. I've held this stock for just under 2 weeks and it's down 3%. I do consider this my weakest holding, and not just because it's down, but I consider a weak holding because the price is below the 8-day and the 13-day simple moving average, and very close to the 28-day exponential moving average. So I didn't move my floor up. I left it at last week's 28-day exponential moving average. All my charts are marked up with a solid green line, which is where the purchase price, and an orange box that shows the day of purchase. And then the solid yellow line is my 8% floor. So I always set that when I buy a stock. And then each week I evaluate it and see if I can move the floor up to another point. The most common one I like to use is the 28-day exponential moving average, which I used here last week. Slack Technologies, stock symbol WORK. I got a little ahead of myself here and purchased this IPO stock on that day that says B. That's Thursday, 6/27. It didn't quite have an IPO base, and I did buy another IPO stock, and I just got a little excited and pulled the trigger early on this one. So I have held it for 2 days, and it's up 0.1%. I did keep my floor at the 8% loss. You can see it down at that bottom, the yellow. This is a 5-day chart for work, and it shows you where I purchased it in the day. It's showing the frequency of every 5 minutes here. So the day before it had really nice volume, and then on 6/27 it started out with really nice volume, and I thought that the volume would continue through the day. I bought it, and then the volume dropped off and the price didn't hold either. It did start to recover in price towards the end of the day, but it was down 1.5% most of the day. I think this stock is still working out the bottom part of its IPO base. Amazon. This is a prior leader that was poised for a comeback, I'm hoping. I did buy it when it was just moving above its 200-day moving average. It's a bit above that now, and I'm using that 200-day simple moving average as my floor, and I kept it at last week's, which is basically the same as this week's. I have 3 buys in this stock that I've held for just about 3 weeks. One of them I'm up 5.5%, one of them I'm up 3%, and one of them I'm up 0.5%. Stoke Therapeutics. This is the other IPO stock that I bought this week. I bought it on day 7, which is the minimum for an IPO base. That B shows the day I purchased it, 6/27, and I've held this stock for just 2 days and it's up 7.6%. Uber, I've held this stock for 3.5 weeks and it's up just about 7%. It finally started to move this week. It had been going sideways, but now it's above its 8-day and its 13-day simple moving average. I did keep my floor at that 28-day exponential moving average from last week. For IPO stocks, the first day of trading is usually a huge volume day. Down in the volume section over on the left-hand side, I put a number 1 on the first day of trading, and you can see that there was huge volume, over 180 million shares. By comparison, the rest of the bars look really small. Down at number 2, since this is an IPO stock, even though I have it as a setup as a 6-month, it's only showing the days that it traded. So from 5/10 to 6/28. If I change this to a 1-month chart down at number 1, the date range changes at number 2 to 5/29 through 6/28. And then you can see the volume bars are not skewed as much. Number 3 is the volume for 6/28. You can see the black dot on the top of that green bar. That means that's the day where all the figures that are showing on the chart are representing. So number 4 is showing you the volume for that day is 28 million, and number 5 is showing you the average volume over a 15-day period is 10 million. So we had over almost 3 times the normal amount of volume. IIPR, this stock had been screaming. Last week I put my floor at the 13-day simple moving average, and then the stock started going sideways. So where I set the floor last week at the 13-day simple moving average happens to be very close to this week's 28-day exponential moving average. So I left my floor at the same point that it was last week. I have 2 buys in this stock that I've held for 3 weeks each. One is up 29% and one is up 26%. Beyond Meat, this is another stock that has been going sideways for a couple of weeks. I've held it for 4.6 weeks and it's up 74.3%. No complaining about that. I did move my floor up to the 28-day exponential moving average. Enphase, I've held this stock for 6.2 weeks and it's up 23.5%. I like that this stock closed above its 8-day and 13-day simple moving average, but I don't like that they're touching. Those 2 lines should be moving apart when the stock is accelerating. ATR, I've held this stock just about 13 weeks and it's at 15.8%. I did move my floor up to the 28-day exponential moving average. This stock had a huge volume on Friday. MarketSmith says that it's 206% of volume. last week I thought this stock was going to trigger a sell, and this week it's my best performer. I like that the 8-day simple moving average is just about to cross above the 13-day, and the price is quite a bit ahead of those. Here's a current dollar gain for each of my stocks, sorted with the losers on the top. My thought is if I take care of my losers, my winners will take care of themselves. Now is down $302 since I purchased it. And down at the very bottom, Beyond Meat is up 7,423. And here's the percentage change for a week. I like to see my stocks gaining at least 0.5% a week. And if I see at least 3 down weeks in a row, then I know that stock's getting close to triggering a sell just based on the floors where I set the floor at. So this again is sorted with the losers on the top, and now in Amazon we're both down for the week, but nothing is a big concern yet. And then you can see some stocks were up quite a bit for the week. Here's my portfolio versus the S&P 500. I'm up 32% and the S&P 500 is up 10.7% for the same time period, 1 year and 11 weeks. At the end of week 11, I have $8,721 in cash. I have several stocks where I could do a buy 2 or a buy 3, or I could purchase a new stock. Here's the industry breakdown. Amazon, I have 3 buys in, and IIPR, I have 2 buys in. So I put those little numbers on there. But this just shows the industry breakdown of the stocks that I am holding. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.